scrutiny of an expert panel of judges. In the end, there can be only one, and he will take home $10,000 and be crowned a Forged in Fire champion. Rich, Matt, you've made it to the Forged in Fire final. So far, we've asked you to design and produce a weapon of your own choosing. To claim the Forged in Fire crown, you must design and forge our mystery weapon, one of the most famous and revered weapons from history. The Japanese Katana. The katana is the traditional weapon of the samurai, the noble class of warriors in feudal Japan since around 800 AD. The katana was formed from hundreds of thin layers of the purest steel available. The quicker draw of the sword was well suited to combat where life versus death depended on the weapon you carried into battle. Over the centuries, the katana has taken on many mythical properties in legend and culture, from an ability to slice through other swords to splitting a hair. And it is the sword of choice for characters in mega hits like Kill Bill and The Walking Dead. You must create an authentic, fully functioning version of that weapon.
Got mad respect to the guys who make those things. A katana is so just not my thing.
The challenge of making a katana leveled the playing field a little bit because it was more in my style.
You have 5 days to complete this challenge. And just to give you the best possible chance, we're sending you back to your home forges for the final round. After the 5 days, you will come back and present your sword to the judges. They will put it through a series of high-impact, high-velocity tests. Once those tests are completed, they will decide who will be crowned the Forged in Fire champion and walk away with a check for $10,000.
Nice.
Good luck, gentlemen. We'll see you in 5 days. Chris, Trenton, congratulations. You've both made it to the final round and are one step closer to $10,000. So far, you've come to our forge and you've made a weapon of your choosing. Now, you're going to head back to your home forge and you're going to create a weapon of our choosing. And that mystery weapon is the chakram. The chakram is an Indian throwing weapon which dates back hundreds of years. Warrior Sikhs would throw it like a frisbee or spin it at high speeds on their fingers before launching it into the enemy. Weapon of the Hindu god Vishnu, its exotic nature has resulted in it appearing in TV and movies. Odd Job's lethal bowler hat in the James Bond movie Goldfinger was a variation of the weapon, as was Xena's weapon of choice in the cult TV series. The Indian warriors would wear multiple chakrams into battle, carrying them around their arms, their necks, and even stacked high on their heads in specially designed turbans. Your challenge is to forge an authentic working version of that infamous throwing weapon.
A chakram is a whole different cow. This is a shape that most knife makers never touch.
I've never done one of these before. I've never even thought about doing one of these before. So, let's see what happens.
In 5 days, you'll return and present your chakrams to our judges. They subject your weapons to a series of aerodynamic and explosive tests. Once these tests are completed, they will decide who will be declared the Forged in Fire champion and walks with a check for $10,000.
I am very excited to be going home. I don't have a whole lot in my shop, so that's going to be a challenge.
I am going home to my shop where I'm king. Chris is in trouble.
Bladesmiths, are you ready to forge ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We will see you in 5 days. Ryu, Jonathan, you made it through to the final round. So far, you've designed and presented a weapon in your own styles. Now, we're going to send you back to your home forges where you will make one of the most iconic weapons from history. The Viking Battle Axe. The Viking Battle Axe was a brutal killing weapon that played a significant role throughout history. Viking warriors were mostly farmers, so when going off the fight, they would pick the tool they had close at hand, which was often a wood-cutting axe. When later models took on shapes more convenient to the fighting man, the battle axe was born. The haft was made of wood, and the curved head allowed the axe to be used to hook an opponent's ankle, throwing him off balance and onto the ground, positioning the Viking to go in for the kill with the large, razor-sharp cutting edge. The battle axe has a long and colorful association with fantasy film and literature, being the weapon of choice for the dwarves in The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, as well as for the players of fantasy computer games such as World of Warcraft. It must be a working, fully functional version of that lethal weapon. You will have 5 days to complete this challenge.
I love making axes. It's so fun to take a giant block of metal and move it so many different directions.
I've come this far with only my skills and my hands. And even though I don't have the proper tools to produce a Viking axe, I'm gonna come back with a badass one.
After 5 days, you will present your battle axes to the judges, where they will put them through a series of rigorous and dynamic tests. Once those tests are completed, one of you will walk out of here with a check for $10,000 and the title of Forged in Fire Champion. Good luck, gentlemen. David, Jamie, congratulations. You guys have made it to the Forged in Fire final and are one step closer to $10,000. When you showed up to the forge, we asked you to create a weapon of your own design using our tools and equipment. For this next round, we're sending you back to your home forges, and you're going to create a weapon of our choosing. It's time to reveal what that mystery weapon will be. The Qatar. The Qatar is a punching and thrusting weapon originating from Southeast Asia. It was the special weapon of the fearsome Rajput warriors from India, who were said to hunt tigers with a pair of Qatars to prove their skill, bravery, and nobility as warriors. It has a distinctive H-shaped handle which places the large triangular blade or blades directly over the wearer's clenched fist. The experienced warrior would use the Qatar like an extension of their arm, allowing for fluid, fast, and agile attacks, in much the same way as the famous Marvel superhero Wolverine uses his deadly claws. Your challenge is to forge an authentic, fully functional version of that iconic weapon.
I've seen a Qatar before, I've seen them in movies, but I've never made one, so it should be pretty fun.
I never made a Qatar before, but I'm going to knock it out of the park.
In 5 days, you will return to present your finished Qatar to our judges, who will put your Qatars through a series of dynamic and grueling tests. Once those tests are completed, they will determine who will be crowned the Forged in Fire champion and receive a check for $10,000.
I'm going to do everything I can to beat David. I'm going to make sure my weapon can pierce, slice, whatever's possible.
Going home to my home forge, I understand the tooling. I know how to use all my machines. The cards are in my favor. The stars are aligned. This challenge is mine to win.
Pete, Dave, congratulations. You made it through to the final round. To be crowned the Forged in Fire champion, you must forge an iconic blade from history. It's time to reveal what that weapon will be.
Holy crap.
The Crusader Sword. Dating back to the Middle Ages, the Crusader Sword was the European knights' weapon of choice as they conquered the Holy Land. This single-handed, medium-length longsword also contained a double edge that tapered at the end, making it the ideal weapon for piercing the emerging plate armor that was found on most battlefields. The most famous Crusader sword was the legendary Excalibur, wielded by King Arthur. The Crusader sword was also carried by the Knights Templar, who were highlighted in films like Kingdom of Heaven and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It must be an authentic, fully functioning version of that famous weapon. You will have just 5 days to complete this challenge.
I have never made a Crusader sword before. Having to make one in only 5 days is going to definitely push me to the max.
Just to give you the best possible chance, we are sending you back to your home forge for this final round. In 5 days, you will return to present your swords to the judges. They will be put through a series of tests to judge its sharpness, strength, and durability. Once these tests are completed, the judges will decide who will be crowned the Forged in Fire champion and walk away with a check for $10,000. Good luck. We will see you in 5 days. Guy, Peter, congratulations. You guys are in the Forged in Fire final. When you showed up here, we asked you to use our forge, our tools and machinery to create a signature weapon of your own design. Now, we're going to send you back to your home forge, where we're asking you to create an iconic weapon from history. The Elizabethan Rapier. The rapier originated in Italy and Spain and then gained popularity throughout Western Europe. Though they varied in size and shape, after the 1500s the word rapier came to refer exclusively to the slender thrusting sword we now know. Nearly all of the blades are rigid, narrow, become thinner toward the point, and have a complex hilt to provide protection for the hand wielding it. They were developed as a weapon for urban self-defense and private dueling. Their weight was concentrated in their hilts, making for a fast, single-hand stabbing sword with a long reach that could be used in the street, back alley, or an enclosed space. Whether it's wielded by Inigo Montoya in The Princess Bride or the Three Musketeers, the rapier is easily one of the most recognizable blades in film and literature. You will have 5 days to forge an Elizabethan rapier. It must be an authentic, fully functioning version of that classic weapon. When the 5 days are up, you will bring your rapiers back here and present them to our judges. They will put them through a series of dynamic and grueling tests. When those tests are complete, the judges will decide who will walk with a check for $10,000 and be crowned the Forged in Fire champion. We'll see you in 5 days. Good luck. Mareko, Jamie, congratulations. You guys have made it through to the final round. And you're both one step closer to receiving a check for $10,000. When you showed up here, you took a ball bearing and you forged that into a signature blade. But now, you will work on a blade of our choosing. One of the most famous weapons from history. The Roman Gladius. The word gladius means sword in Latin. It was also adopted as the name for those who would fight each other to the death for the entertainment of the imperial crowds, as depicted in the Hollywood blockbuster Gladiator. The gladius was the primary weapon of the Roman legionary, with a fearsome V-shaped tip for thrusting and stabbing and a double razor-sharp edge for slashing and slicing. Originally a Spanish weapon, the Romans were so impressed by its simple design and lethal effectiveness, they adopted it as their own and used it to help them establish one of the greatest empires the world has ever known. Your challenge is to forge a Roman Gladius. It must be an authentic, fully functioning version of that deadly weapon that dominated the battlefields of Europe for nearly 1,000 years.
I'm feeling slightly out of my element. I've never made a gladius before.
You will have 5 days to forge this weapon. And just to give you the best possible advantage, we are sending you back to your home forges to complete it.
At this point, I'm feeling okay. I've forged blades similar to Gladius before, never in a very traditional way, but I'm ready to beat feet to the forge and get working.
At the end of 5 days, you will return and present your gladiuses to our panel of expert judges. They will put them through a series of grueling and stressful tests. Ultimately, they will decide who walks away with the title, Forged in Fire champion. Good luck, bladesmiths. We will see you in 5 days.
Good luck.
Congratulations. You have both made it through the second round and are now 1 round closer to the title of Forged in Fire champion and a check for $10,000. Now, we're asking you to forge a weapon whose origins go back thousands of years. The Moro Chris. The Kris came into existence around 1361 AD in the kingdom of Majapahit, East Java. Believed to be the primary weapons wielded by Asian warriors, its distinctive wavy blade creates a wider wound during combat, causing the victim to quickly bleed to death. The hilt is viewed as a work of art and is often carved in meticulous detail from precious wood, gold, or ivory. In popular culture, the Kris can be seen in the video game Mortal Kombat. Your challenge is to forge an effective, fully functional version of that ancient and beautiful weapon.
The waves in the blade and the shape of it is going to be a challenge.
I've never made a Moro Kris before, but I feel very confident that I can turn out a truly high-performance weapon.
You will have 5 days at your home forge to complete this challenge. After those 5 days, you will come back and present your Kris to our panel of judges. They will subject them to a series of rigorous and dynamic tests. When the tests are complete, our judges will decide who will be crowned the Forged in Fire champion and receive a check for $10,000. Good luck, bladesmiths. We will see you in 5 days.